my friends! How did the negotiations fare?
Prince Dale took the stone.
We need to speak to the Magister immediately.
I see. Very well then. He deserves to know.
A thousand good greetings to you, Magister.
It's my understanding that Shui Gong is now in possession of the Kingdom Stone.
Not exactly a greatness. Someone else has it.
Explain.
It's been taken by a warlord named Brevin. He has been manipulating the three kingdoms into waging war.
And you have proof of this?
This is a fragment of one of Brevin's machines. Have your scientists examine it. You'll find that its mineral composition doesn't match anything that's built on your world.
Nira is going to infuriate most players, simply because, well, that's just the nature of storytelling. She's part of the out-group, and she's threatening our in-group, the characters we've grown attached to. I can see things from her perspective, though. I find her a pretty interesting character, honestly. Just because, well, I mean, look at her job. She has to protect this magistrate guy, this very important guy. And you know, it's like after a while, after doing that for a few years, you might start to get attached to the person you have to protect, and then protect them more fiercely. I think that, as cold as she may appear to be, that she's fond of the Magister and loves and respects him and just wants to protect him from anything that may bring him harm. So of course she's going to be suspicious of anybody who comes her way. Of course she's going to be on a constant high alert to make sure that no one slips in. Because, you know, when you're protecting someone who is in a position of power like that, of course there's always going to be people who want to take them down. So, you know, it's just that her job demands that she be this way. It's not that she's bad or that she's trying to get back at these characters. She's just doing what she thinks is right, based on her perception of the world and, you know, her job and all that. So, again, you know, I find her pretty interesting. I understand if not everybody likes Nira, but honestly, I think she might be one of my favorite characters just because I find her the most interesting. And as you can see, the Magister is ready to trust Nira's word over anyone else's. It's like they just mutually respect each other. Like, I don't take the Magister for the kind of guy who can easily be wooed by the words of a woman or whatever. I think that he just particularly respects Nira because, well, come on.
Now, let's try and figure this out. We gotta bust out of here. But we can't leave without Torque.
Yes, I ship Nira and the Magister.
It's not gonna be easy. He's been quarantined.
What if we bribe the guards?
Carol? We don't have any of our belongings.
Ooh, I'll pretend I have to pee really bad, and then when they open the gate, we'll make a break for it!
I told you, we can't leave without Torque.
Oh, right. Oh, I got it now! First we'll both switch clothes, and then I'll switch with Milla. And then when they,
This way!
What?
Huh?
I can dig through here!
Well, that makes it easy. Let's go!
Actually, only one of us should go. We don't want the guards to suspect anything.
I'll go! For the team!
The sooner you find Torque, the sooner we can get out of here.
Yeah, folks, we're doing something different for this part. This is the first stage that you play through as Milla. You know, she doesn't go to Dragon Valley, this is her intro stage. It's a pretty nifty stage, it's filled with lots of things that seem to be designed with her in mind. She does fare better than I think the other characters would, honestly, just because of the level design. Here's another one of her abilities. She can dig up things when you're above patches of dirt. I just thought I'd show that off at least once. You're not always going to find things on every patch of dirt you find, but, you know, every now and then you'll find something. So anyway, yeah, this is Milla's first stage, but I wanted to include every stage, and when I first played through this game and I saw that cutscene, I thought, oh wait, this is a sewer area, right? We're gonna go through that next, right? And we didn't. But, you know, since they use the same textures, I figured, well, may as well, you know, let's just pretend for this particular LP that these sewers are under the Magister's palace, and this is Milla's attempt to break out. I saved you! It's a pretty nice stage, it's got some nice music, it's got some nice visuals. You may have noticed this is a sewer level. That said, I think it's my favorite sewer level that I've ever seen in any video game. And you know, I don't hate sewer levels as much as other people do. There's only a few that I really despise. But I just think that this is a great stage because there's so much going on in it. The visuals are nice, the platforming gimmicks are nice. It's like, this isn't dull and lifeless like most sewer levels are. There's a lot going on. You've got this crazy machinery carrying stuff up to the surface for whatever reason. Probably water that's been processed and cleaned up to be used, and you got these nice lush areas where you have things growing because this place is so big and vast and open. It's just really interesting. It's just much more lively than sewer levels generally tend to be. And if they were to include a sewer level in a game like this, well, I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. You know, like, on paper, you might hear Streff going, hey, you know what, I'm gonna throw a sewer level in there. You might think, no, man, that's not a good idea. Everyone hates sewer levels. It's gonna be boring as shit, but no, actually, I quite like this stage. It's one of my favorite stages, just because I think it's the best designed. It's the kind of level that's short but sweet. I mean, it is one of the early stages. And, you know, I just feel like showing it off at least once. And again, yes, I'm going to be getting all of the cards. This will be about half of them so far. So, yeah. I also just wanted to show a little more of Milla's gameplay. This is a pretty cool stage. It's got nice music, it's got nice visuals. It's like, it's not the most exciting stage, it's just very mellow. I'd even call it relaxing, you know? And it's never boring. It's just really, really neat. By the way, don't let Milla die when you play. Her death scream is like the most blood-curdling sound in the whole game. Well, okay, second, but we'll get into that when the time comes. And look at this, even these areas where you have to swim around, they're nice and open, and the swimming controls are great. Again, this is just a really, really fun game. Even the parts of it that you'd think would be the most boring still have something to them. I like how they don't resort to using a lot of the same gimmicks over and over again. Like, yeah, you'll see a particular chunk of machinery maybe used like twice, maybe 3 times for these globby things, but they just mix so many of these things together. It's like the level is constantly changing, and it's really easy to remember like this part of the level or that part of the level and get a sense of how far along you are. Again, it's like, I can understand a stage like Fortune Knight or maybe Jade Creek, the next stage, getting kind of easy to lose track of yourself in, but this is a really, really nice stage. I mean, there's only so much I can say about it. Good lord, we're not even done with the first round. I've already basically run out of things to say about it. But anyway, I may as well talk about Milla a bit. Oh, actually no, we'll talk about this mid-boss. Yeah, this guy's pretty easy. I mean, this is supposed to be the first thing Milla encounters in her mode. You just have to jam that into its mouth 3 times, and you have to be really careful not to get swallowed up by it. It'll only take out 1 petal, but still. And there we go. I guess the best way I can describe this level is it's fast-paced. Like, it's fairly short, and Milla isn't really that fast, and it's a very platformy heavy stage. There aren't a lot of long stretches where you can just run and whatnot, but everything is just so densely packed together. There's always something going on. There's never a dull moment. You're always getting something done, and that's the kind of level design that I really like. The kind of thing that's not like stupidly fast, but is fast-paced, simply because there's never a moment where things really come to a stop. And you know, a lot of the level design in this game is like that. Not always, but a lot, and those are my favorite parts of the game, which, yes, include this stage. Man, these backgrounds are just something else. They've got lots of, like, really good colors. They're just lively and vast. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the music because it's really nice. So yeah, Milla's story mode. There's only like 1 cutscene in her adventure mode that we don't see already. Like, only one that's exclusive to her, and as you can imagine, it's her intro cutscene. Oh, by the way, this is a great piece of game design right here. Look at that. Why is there a spring over to the right when that doesn't go anywhere? And why is there a platform leading to it? Well, that's why. Just another one of those really nice, clever little things that not everybody is going to pick up if they're just speeding through this stage, but those with a keen eye will spot it, and it's just very rewarding stuff. So anyway, yeah, Milla, she's a loner. She's been alone for most of her life. She's just been wandering around in the woods and in the underground and whatnot, and She dreams of finding her parents someday. It's a typical, how shall we say, underdog sort of story. And Milla is, I'm just gonna say, she's stupidly cute. All of her animations are cute. Her voice acting is alright, I think. Like, some of the lines, you know, the writing-wise are kind of dumb, but I think the delivery is pretty good. Actually, most of the voice acting in this game is very, very good. The roles are, like, spot on. The actors, they deliver a lot of their lines with a lot of spunk. Oh, and yes, by the way, if you spend too long underwater, that meter does run out and you start to run out of breath. Okay, this next card is very tricky to get. But don't worry, it's not like you'll get cut off from it, you just have to come back down here again if you miss it. So yeah, it's really easy to twitch too far to the left or right when kicked up by a spring like that, but if you do it just right, you'll pass through the thing and you'll get it. And there's the sky. Man, this is just kind of a crazy place. Like, it doesn't feel claustrophobic like sewer levels typically do. It's like, look at this. This is probably running above the ground now. What's with all these pipes? And here's another boss. So yeah, this is a pretty easy boss. Again, this is the first stage, basically, even though I'm playing these stages out of order. All you have to do is throw things at it 4 times. You're mainly supposed to throw the bombs at it that it drops on you, but you can also squeeze one of your own cubes in there now and then, you know, if you're quick enough. Oh, before I forget, something I want to talk about. You may have noticed she can generate these cubes and throw them around. Well, the first stage that Milla was ever shown in was this stage. And I said to Strife in a forum, hey, you know, it looks like she forms those cubes out of the goop that's around the level. Hey, why don't you change the cubes in other levels? Like, let's say she's in a stage like Dragon Valley, she can make a clump of rocks to throw at an enemy. Like, she can just manipulate the elements around her. And, well, Strife didn't really go through with that, but at the time, he thought it was a really good idea. He even told me so. And, you know, for a long time I thought maybe that was gonna come through, and then I'd be able to tell people in this LP that, hey, I affected the development of Freedom Planet, how about that? And again, things didn't quite go that way, but I just felt like mentioning that before I forgot about it. You know, a lot of people, not just on my video, but other videos, have joked about Brevin's eyebrows looking a lot like Robotnik's mustache. Like, hey, Griffin Eggman wants his mustache back. Guys, he's a big bug thing. He's an alien cockroach. Those are his feelers. I mean, look at him. He's kinda got these mandibles growing out of his chin. He's got these big bug eyes. His arms and legs look kind of segmented. Like, his whole body is kind of weird and bug-like. And, you know, those are his antennae. Like I said, he's really funny looking. At first I didn't think he was that threatening, like when I first saw him in one of the early trailers. But, you know, he's grown on me. And yeah, Brevin basically rules the world at this point.
Nice try.
Well, there goes that plan. I'm sorry.
So yeah, this whole video was completely pointless.
Tell the Magister, I want to confess.
What?
Very well.
Well, she seems awfully proud of herself.
It's okay. I have an idea. So Torque has nothing to do with this. We forced him to help us against his will.
I see. Since you have displayed integrity in revealing this farce, I will release your friend. But this does not change your own fate. You and your companions have lied to us, and in doing so have wasted our time and resources. You will remain imprisoned until I deem otherwise.
If I may make one last request, I want to say goodbye to him and apologize for the trouble I've caused.
Very well. Make it quick.
I don't know what to say. We needed Shang-Tu's support.
I know, but we can't do anything while we're all sitting behind bars. We need more evidence.
But what about you guys?
We'll catch up with you. Busting out of here will be a piece of crab cake.
See you in part 6, guys.